Everyone, I'm now calling this meeting to order. Please stand with us. We'll be led in prayer by Alderman Gallagher. Please remain standing after that for the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Alderman at Large George Payne.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, Lord. We thank you that you're here among us, Lord. And Lord, we pray that our minds would be renewed to be like you, Lord Jesus, and that people would see your light in everything that we say and think and do. So, Lord, we ask you to bless this meeting tonight, Lord, and be with us. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda this evening is the approval of minutes for the May 7, 2024 meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 7th, 2024 with any additions, deletions, or corrections.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne?
Yes.
Alderman Kelly?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome?
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher?
Yes.
Alderman Flores?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is a resolution amending city ordinance, Title 13, Section 13, 7C, 1B.
Mayor and Board, this is the ordinance that was discussed at a previous meeting that's been advertised tonight, or has been advertised for a hearing tonight. But before, I guess, we close the meeting for the hearing, we can at least discuss this portion of it. But it's the ordinance for the parking of the cars on the impervious surface. The ordinance is being requested to be revised to note that when there is a car parked, that car be parked in the driveway on an impervious surface. And the way it currently reads is on a consistent or the same type of material. I think there was some questions about that as far as keeping that language in there, but was tonight that's the ordinance that has been advertised and up for discussion, and along with hearing to see anybody here to speak on it tonight. And then if the board desires, we can approve this ordinance as presented for the requirement of the impervious surface, which is taken, that impervious surface language is taken from other parts of the ordinance to make it consistent with this portion for the parking of vehicles.
You need us to close the meeting before we discuss it?
Well, you can discuss it, then you can have it here, however you want to do it, it's fine. But if y'all want to go ahead and close it for the hearing, that's fine as well.
Or can we just make a motion to approve it?
Well, we'll at least need to see if anybody's here to discuss the ordinance, and then.
Make a motion to close the meeting for the hearing.
Second.
Okay, to open the hearing, we have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Gallagher. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The public meeting has been suspended for the hearing, so now there's a hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on the proposed changes? Anyone in the audience want to speak on the proposed ordinance changed about the driveways? Hearing or seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing and then can we do all? Let's do it all in one. I'm gonna make that decision, Attorney. We're gonna make it all in one. So is there a motion to close the hearing and reopen the public meeting?
Yes. So, yes.
Second.
Got a motion by Alderman Flores,
Second.
second by Alderman Gallagher. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. So now is there a motion to approve this ordinance change?
Mayor, the only question I had on this one, when it says comprised of the same materials, is it possible to have that comprised of similar materials? Because the issue I have is, I don't have a problem personally with asphalt and concrete. If they want to put a side driveway with asphalt, but their primary driveway is concrete, especially with the cost as they are now. I mean, I may be the only one that, thinks that way.
Let's make a motion to approve it, and then you can discuss it.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion to approve it. And for discussion.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Flores, a second by Alderman Gallagher, and so it's open for discussion. So what you're saying, to make sure I'm understanding you, you're saying that you don't want it to be exactly the same materials. You want to give the flexibility where you could do concrete and
Or
then
asphalt.
asphalt or different.
Yes.
I think the downside to that, and Whitney was not able to be here. I can call her, but I think the downside to that, from a planning perspective in a neighborhood, is that you get different colors. I think
Sure.
that, and I think that's considered a negative by some. So, anyway, that's a board's call, but I think that's the downside to that is I can see where if you have it, like in an AR zone, an ag residential zone, it's not as big a deal, because you're dealing with bigger lots and stuff like that. But I would think that if you're in a, typical residential neighborhood, that could be viewed as a negative by some. But again, I'll let the board, it's,
Well,
Joe's call.
I've seen some driveways already that are a mix of asphalt and concrete.
Those-
The
those
parking
are
area by the
grandfathered.
garages are concrete, but the drive going up to the concrete is asphalt.
Yeah.
Which
We-
personally, I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, and I think that, again, like Alderman said, this would be grandfathered, so it would just be from
Okay.
this point forward, just, to improve the
Okay.
look of the neighborhoods. But again, I respect what you're saying, so
Yeah.
it'll be a board's call if y'all, however you pass it, it's more than what we've had. But I
Sure.
again, just to be fair with everybody and put all the facts out there, I think the downside to that is it does give you a discolored look. It's not a consistent look, and some people view that as a negative for property values.
I think the grandfather properties are fine. I think moving forward, there needs to be a standard. That's my opinion.
Okay.
As long as they're grandfathered, I'm fine with that.
I mean,
Okay.
The other thing I think about is asphalt deteriorates faster than concrete does. So even if you have asphalt, it's gonna get worse as it gets older.
You're saying they won't age similarly.
Correct.
Well, that's true, but they won't have as much wear on them either. I mean, it'll last.
I mean, we all know concrete lasts longer, but it's a lot more expensive.
That's right.
That's when we build highways out of asphalt, not concrete.
That's right.
Well, and so like if somebody had asked, what Nick, so according to the way the ordinance is now, if someone has an asphalt driveway, they would add on with asphalt.
Correct.
Yeah.
You'd almost, the way it is now, you'd have to
So
add on
it'd
with
still be
asphalt.
the customer's,
Sure.
I mean, the citizen's choice if they use asphalt or concrete, they just need to be consistent.
Correct. That's the way it reads now, yes, sir.
Okay, well, the comments are much appreciated and duly noted, so we have, if there's any other discussion, we'll vote, and if someone doesn't want to pass it like it is and wants to change it, we'll vote again. So, is there any other discussion before we roll call? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, and that motion carries. Okay. Next on the agenda is the resolution for purchase of property.
This resolution just authorized the purchase of the old Fred's building, which is located at 8912 Northwest Drive, in the amount of $1 million. So the resolution will authorize that purchase along with negotiating the contract once it comes in, and they're working on the contract now, the potential sellers, and then also authorize for title and due diligence to be done on the property. And once it's finalized, we'll put that contract in the minutes and give an update at that time. But tonight just gets the process started for that purchase price of $1 million.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Kelly, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? And again, well, we don't need, that's not necessary, never mind. Any other discussion from anyone? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution approving no protest, approving the form documents for sale in terms of the bond and sales parameters.
Yeah, this resolution will note that there was no protest filed against this bond issuance. It also, as the mayor notes in the title, approves all the form bond documents which are all attached to as exhibits to the bond, to the bond resolution, and in the terms of the sales parameter, which is set forth in the POS as an exhibit to the bond resolution as well. The intent is to close by June 26th, 27th, hopefully, on this bond issuance. So tonight, this will, upon being passed, approved by the board, this will allow for the bond validation to begin, and then the closing to, and like I said, hopefully occur by end of June, and then and use the proceeds as set forth in the bond intent.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a discussion regarding ambulance billing rates.
Yeah, this was previously discussed amongst the mayor and chief scallions, and tonight it's just being presented for discussion. I'm going to be some specific questions for chief scallions and the mayor on it, but at the last legislative session, House Bill 1489 was passed. That House bill allowed for reimbursement up to 325%, which allowed by Medicare. So it basically increased the reimbursement the city could get for out-of-network expenses. In the past, we've had our rates lower so that we wouldn't have to bill our own citizens or people that hopefully weren't covered by their insurance. We wouldn't have to bill them for that extra amount. However, the way this bill is drafted, that'll go into effect July 1. These rates will now be reimbursed by the insurance company under HB 1489 because they'll be in accordance, or they'll be less than or equal to the 325% of the reimbursement allowed by Medicare for those ambulance services. So tonight, just giving everybody's thought on it, on the potential increase. As you note in the chart, we are lower than everybody else in the county, except the exception of Olive Branch, I think. We're equal with them, but I think most entities have already raised theirs. And so I think the thought process was to get discussion from the board, answer any specific questions that you may have for EMS, and also discussions about potentially raising these rates due to the increase that's due to begin July 1 as set forth in HB 1489.
And I'll start just to kind of bring everybody up to speed on what's been discussed internally with our city operations, with our fire chief, me, and again, Nick, on the rates. A lot of it has to do with, as Nick stated, like Medicare rules. You know, Medicare has a formula where if you don't have your price set high enough, you're not able to collect enough to pay the cost of the current ambulance transport. So our rates have been low. We've been conscious of the fact that if we raise it, you know, and then you have someone who's uninsured, without the insurance, what kind of situation does that put on them? And so we were waiting to see if the bill passed in Mississippi, which surprisingly it did, which is going to require that the insurance companies pay the price, whatever it is, so there's not a supplemental bill to our citizens. That was the main thing we're worried about. And then we started crunching the numbers and realized that most of the people who are uninsured are not paying it anyway. So like if you're having with the current rate at 625 or specifics there laid out in the chart, if they're uninsured, the overwhelming majority are not paying it anyway. So they're going to collection. So, you know, our thought, and although just being real candid with everybody, and I told our fire chief this, that seems like a big jump at one time. You know, it seems like there would be something that was a little more in the middle, but I think it's mostly geared, again, towards that Medicare formula. If you don't set the price high enough, you know, with their formula, you can't get 100% payment back from them. So that's, I'm assuming, what the other cities, base their decision on. But then combine that with the fact that most uninsured are not paying it anyway. I think, you know, to address most of it, even though I hate that it's that cost, I think would be somewhat unfair to our taxpayers if we're not charging what the other cities are charging in the county. And again, as Nick stated, we're the only one. We're the only entity that hasn't already raised theirs, and the reason we haven't is for the reasons I just mentioned.
I feel like if we're raising it just to raise it. I mean, are we at a deficit?
No, the reason, again, is back to the Medicare thing, like the way Medicare's formula is, if you keep it the way it is now, they almost encourage you to have an exaggerated rate. Because to get full payment on Medicare, you have to have it at a certain amount. So we're not raising it just to be raising it. That's one thing, because you're not getting paid, and then you're putting a supplemental bill back on your citizens. So that's one of the things. The other thing is that we didn't mention. I'm glad you brought that up. Is y'all know that the cost of paramedics is through the roof. I mean, we're having a tough time keeping paramedics. The actual cost, to transport a patient has gone up tremendously. We can bring Chief Skyans, would you come up and just address that, please, regarding the cost of transporting?
Absolutely. So yeah, as you already mentioned, the cost of personnel has gone up every year, and what it takes to retain paramedics, but also the supply costs, medication, everything that goes along with keeping these ambulances rolling have gone up tremendously. And like Nick said, the bill that will actually go in effect in July 1, it's the higher amount of 325% of what Medicare will allow, or the current ambulance service billing rate. So where they're not covering where we're billing now, we can increase to what everybody around us is charging, and they will cover all of that. So the way it seems, our citizens will actually get less or no bill in most cases than what they're getting now.
There'd be no supplemental bill to that.
Hmm?
There'd be no supplemental bills to that for that.
Right.
And again, to summarize my main concern, I don't want supplemental bills going to our citizens. Like it's easier for everybody. It's easier for our citizens. It's easier for us not having to collect, having a supplemental bill from what the insurance pays. So if we can make it, that's why when this law changed in Mississippi, if the insurance companies are paying 100% of what our charge is, that eliminates the supplemental bills, which is good for everybody.
For the majority.
Well, I mean, not everybody,
But for
the ones that are
majority.
insured.
But the ones that are insured.
Right.
So you can sum it up by saying raising the rates creates a windfall for our insured citizens
Correct. And our taxpayers.
and our taxpayers.
Yes. And again, it's one of those situations where it's not absolute. You're going to have those people who are uninsured, and that's the heartburn I had. But then again, we're looking at statistics and making a decision that's overall best for the city. Did you have a statistic? Didn't you have a
It was
statistic?
about 3%.
3% are
uninsured.
paying that are uninsured. So 97% that are uninsured are not paying what the rate is now. So
That's going to collections,
It is.
which is an additional cost.
Correct.
well, yes, yeah.
You just pay a percentage of it.
Pay percentage of reflected fee.
That's correct. Yeah.
But again, this is something that's, it's something that should require a lot of deliberation, and we've been doing that and waiting on the bill. But since the bill passed, we want, not asking for action tonight. Just want y'all to be aware of it and be thinking about that on what you think is right. And then when do we don't have a time we have to do this, but
No, I wouldn't do it before the bill goes into effect, obviously, which is July 1.
yeah.
So, we can, have some time to discuss it and have it go into effect afterwards.
Okay.
You can pass it whenever, just make it effective July, or you can wait until July and pass it and go effective in August. But yeah, that to the chief's point, doesn't matter if it's July 1 anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, does anyone have any other questions or comments tonight before we move on?
So what effect does it have on people with insurance? Not just,
Well,
Preventing them from getting a supplemental bill.
Yeah, the bill, the law, and again, we talked about this. We're kind of shocked that the bill passed. It's forcing the insurance company to pay what the governmental entity or whoever the company. It's not all. A lot of them are private entities. They're not government like we are. But whatever the ambulance entity is, it's forcing the insurance company to pay whatever that price is. So
No
which is
supplemental bills.
yeah. So it eliminates supplemental bills. So.
but that's not counting a deductible, because I think a lot of insurances have a deductible for,
Well, yeah, you got to. I would think. You still
for
have-
like an emergency room visit is this regardless. An ambulance ride is, I think with my insurance is this regardless, like $300 or $400.
That, you got to eat the deductible, I mean, that's just part
Right,
of it.
That
exactly.
means the deductible now.
That doesn't, that should.
Yeah, that's
factor
not
into
a,
this
that's
decision.
not change, whatever that is now, you know, for every insurer, that part is not changing, so. But if you're comparing apples to apples, you're gonna be minimizing your supplemental bills this way, as opposed to the way we have it now.
A lot of the patients that we transport obviously are going to the hospital, and that eats up their deductibles as well, that the hospital bill that they receive.
I understand what you're saying, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
What,
I was
mean, like, what
surprised.
specific part?
It just seems,
Too good to be true?
well, no,
I think it's
mean,
holding, the bill holds the insurance company's feet to the fire to pay what they're supposed to pay. That's what it's for.
Well, I think, and I don't wanna speak for you, but I think I'm following what you're saying, but
right, so it does, so let's jack up the prices every
well,
year.
and that's why let me insert this. And again, I'm taking my mayor hat off and putting my insurance hat on for a minute.
Right,
That's why we have problems with health insurance in our company, in our country, because there's abuse on all aspects of it.
right.
So you shouldn't incentivize someone to inflate their prices. But that's exactly what is happening here. And it happens in all, or,
I know it does,
yeah.
that's what's giving me.
And both on the physician side, the insurance company side, there's abuse. That's why our country's health insurance is such a challenge. And it didn't start overnight. That's been going on for decades.
Well, and I think the bill incentivizes, you're right, but I think it was forced into action because of the fact that insurance companies weren't paying what they were supposed to be, and the constituents to the legislature had to end up paying out of their own pockets.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it, but then again, just depending on which glasses you look through, you could also say that that's government interfering with private business pricing, which that is what it is. But so it's like there's all kinds of angles here. That's why we're just in the situation we got to decide what we're going to charge, But all these circumstances are things that we can't control. They're caused by other factors beyond our control.
Is there a maximum in the bill that was passed for?
Was there?
It did not
It's
mention
a
a
good question.
maximum.
I don't think it's a maximum for what a city can charge. I think there's only thing that's a maximum is what the insurance is going to reimburse you. Either the the greater of the 325% of the Medicare or the rate that you have currently charged. So, but I think that's the maximum payment. There's not a maximum. So if the city wanted to charge $1 or $1 million, you're only getting what's in that formula that's set forth in 1489. Which would be in that case, it'd be the $1 as opposed to the 325%.
Any other comments or thoughts? Okay, well, we'll continue talking about that, and we have in the future we'll put it back on another agenda and move on from there. Okay, next on our agenda is a resolution appointing MML delegates.
Yeah, this is the resolution that I guess no one wants to win, but who wants to be appointed for the MML delegates this year?
Is Charlie Hoops going this year?
Huh?
Is Charlie going this year?
I have no idea.
Make a motion to appoint Charlie.
That's what he gets for not being
Maybe
here.
actually, you wanted to do it
Yeah,
the last couple
well, the
years.
reason I suggested that last year, because there was a few years that I didn't do it, and then I was getting contacted by, I probably need to be one of them.
I don't mind, I'll do it, I don't mind.
No, I was gonna say, I'll be the vote delegate, put me in there with the other mayors.
They're not all mayors, bro.
Yeah, they grab,
I don't care. Whichever.
But how many do we do?
I think you do one and then an alternate and a second alternate. You do three. You have
Last year.
Okay.
I think you have the first delegate, second delegate, and third.
1, 2, 3.
Well, you're not gonna. I can assure you, nobody's gonna hurt my feelings if you don't elect me. But I probably should be the
Yeah.
primary and then
I agree.
alternates. Yeah.
I'll do the alternate,
Okay. And then y'all wanna make?
I'll do third alternate.
Okay.
second alternate.
Check y'all
Somebody
out, man.
make a motion to approve
No, I
that.
wanna be third alternate.
So moved.
Okay. Alderman Flores makes a motion to make me the first,
William the second, George the
Alderman
third.
Jerome second, and Alderman Payne third. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Gallagher. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Next on the agenda is authorization to seek RFP for street sweeping contract.
The Public Works, Robert Booth has requested this to authorize to seek quotes or services for street sweepers. Once it's approved, we can either look at doing an RFP or contracting with a company after a couple of quotes because it is professional service. So tonight, just wanted to get something on our minutes that say that we can start that process.
So move.
Second.
Shame Charlie's not here to.
Yeah, he would have made the motion.
Y'all want to call him, let him second this?
We're looking for a company with working trucks, correct?
Yes.
We're looking
Maybe
for a
with
company
vacuum.
that sweeps the streets.
Thank you very much. He's gonna say, got a vacuum
Yeah,
truck?
brushes and a vacuum.
Because we've been dealing with one who hasn't had one working for a while.
Yeah, I know. That's-
Yeah, no, it's definitely,
That's true.
it's definitely needed.
Oh, I'm just quoting.
So we have a motion by Alderman Gallagher and a second. Who is our second? Alderman Jerome made the second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. And next on the agenda is approval of right-of-way, approval of a right-of-way agreement with Entergy.
Yeah, this right-of-way agreement with Energy is required for the property where we're having Southaven Fire Station number 5 built. So a transformer can be set on the property. Just need authorization for Chief Skyans to sign this
So
agreement. So
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion?
I'm sorry.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next on our agenda is the resolution for the closure of the northern portion of Old Airways Road.
yeah, this was just authorization to close that northern portion of the old Airways Road, connecting to Church Road. I think the requirement's going to be closed anyway when MDOT construction expands Interstate 55 to 10 lanes. So this will just go ahead and authorize that closure tonight, which will go effect in a couple of days. I can't remember the exact date, but this resolution will authorize that. I think it's already been posted on
27.
27. City's already posted it. So tonight we'll just get the authorization officially in our minutes.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda are 2 change orders.
Yeah, these can both be done at the same time. Actually, the second one, the change order number 5, the fire station, or change order for the fire station, just needs to be put in our minutes. But the first change order is the resolution to authorize change order for the Parks Improvement Plan. It increases the quantities and adds new line items to complete work for the ingress egress easement for connection of the trail to Sweeney, and it adds crossings at Central Park for maintenance, and then to redeck the Snowden Kids Park Bridge, and to replace and remove and replace the bridge crossing at Soche Park. The total change order amount is $194,724.84. So tonight need authorization for that change order as set forth in the resolution and exhibits.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Kelly, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Just will add, the reason for doing it now is it's less expensive to have them do this while they're out there on the neighborhood park projects rather than bring them back as separate projects. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
And then the next one, just noting that the change order number 5, the change order for Southaven Fire Station number 5 in the amount of $11,523, which is less than 1% of the contract price, as previously approved to be signed under 31-713, just being entered into our minutes, no action. Just noting it's into the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Is that right, Nick? Is that all
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need?
we didn't need action, but that's, I mean, there's nothing that hurts the action either, so that's fine.
Okay, we just want to put it in the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's been approved previously, but we can have it
Okay.
approved again. That's no,
Which, it's surely approved now.
100%, yes, sir.
You double approved it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
is that all?
That's it, yes, sir.
I was on the
Okay.
roll.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, next on the agenda, and I'll handle this one, Nick. This is a resolution honoring Jerry Street, and I'm gonna read. I prepared some comments just so I don't leave anything out, and this will say it all. So I'll just read my statement here, which is comprehensive of everything we're trying to accomplish here. On Sunday morning, April 20, 1986, the small city of Southaven was silent in shock from one of the most tragic events to ever occur in our young history at that time. Students Jerry Street, Heather Rothman, Veronica Hamilton, and Bradley Scott were all fatalities in an automobile accident during the early morning hours after the Southaven High School prom. Both the school and our entire city were turned upside down with pain, and these special young people have never been forgotten, still living in the hearts of so many who knew and loved them. In the 1980s, Church League softball was one of the most beloved summer evening pastimes in Southaven. When the lights turned on, you could count on crowds of fans, mosquitoes biting, and Jerry Street wearing a Greenbrook Baptist Church jersey. Jerry loved church softball, and all who played with him or against him loved and respected him. He was a reserved, soft-spoken young man who was known as a talented competitor and great teammate. Sometime in the late 1980s, the field frequently used then for church softball games where Jerry played in countless games, commonly referenced and nicknamed The Hole, was renamed Jerry Street Field. Recently, when the city announced the placement of a historical marker sign there, it was brought to my attention that the field had been renamed and for many years had a sign noting such. I began searching for the official minutes reflecting this, but could not find anything, which is not uncommon since the city was small back then and many actions were more informal. So to honor my fellow Southaven Charger and his memory, which is so special to so many of our citizens, I'm asking the Board of Aldermen tonight to approve this resolution and formally honor Jerry Street with the renaming of the park behind Caprock Cove.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, a second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank y'all. Next on our agenda is authorization for our Parks Director to sign amphitheater contracts.
Yeah, this is, as part of the, seats that were sold this year, there was 20 or 35 to 40 contracts signed, entered into for the boxes, for the VIP suites. So all those have now been signed by those people and or entities who purchased the boxes. So they now need to be signed by the city. So we just need authorization for West Brown to sign those contracts. The form of the contract's previously been approved by the city. So tonight, just need authorization for the actual signature so we can have those on file with the clerk's office.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for budget amendments.
Yeah, there's two budget amendments to be done at the same time. The first one is just a Parks budget amendment, authorizes a transfer of $75,000 from surplus to parks and machinery and equipment for golf cart purchases. And then the next one is authorization to transfer $27,253 from surplus to hire 2 new animal control positions, which will be an officer and a kennel technician.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is the donation docket.
Just authorization to accept an $85 donation from DeSoto Detour to the Southaven Police Department for the fishing rodeo.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is resolution to clean private property.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution granting authority to clean private property as presented on the state.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion among the board? Hearing none, is there anyone in the audience who has a financial interest in any of the properties who would like to speak? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda, well, we do not have a planning agenda this evening, so next is mayor's report. Not a large amount, just some quick day-to-day updates. The Rasco Greenbrook Parkway traffic signal, we've been planning that for a couple of years now. We run into hang-ups here and there, but they do have the poles up now. We've got the parts that we need, so the last update is that they will finish that up. So by mid next week, that should be complete. So that's going to be big. That'll
That's
help
with
with
the
our
new
school.
crosswalks and everything.
Yeah, we'll eventually, restripe, with the turn lanes and everything. So that'll make our school there at Greenbrook much safer and allow all the traffic, engaging with the school traffic in that part of the city to move better. So that'll be done. Our streets, resurfacing, a lot of years we're done this time of year. We're not done. We've pulled the contract, or not pulled, but the contractor, Lehman Roberts, is also involved in the Getwell widening project. So there's a lot of moving parts going on in the city, but we do have a lot of streets left to be resurfaced. So the latest report from Lehman Roberts is they're going to start back later this week, and they're going to start on Sweeney. Y'all will see that we patched the weak spots, the compromised areas of Sweeney. I think we did that last year at the end of the year, but so normally it's not this much time between those two parts of the project, but they will start resurfacing Sweeney all the way from Rasco down to Worthington Estates subdivision. So as y'all know, there's a large amount of traffic that flows that way, and the road needs it, so that's gonna be good for our city. And then the plan is to try to keep them here until they finish the list. So all the ones that are on our list that haven't been done yet, we hope to see them, knock all those out while they're here. And that's specifically all I have to update tonight. And then let's move on to our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the personnel docket as presented on the state.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is our city attorney's legal update.
Just have a couple of quick items. The first item I sent an email yesterday was the resolution for the emergency purchase of the fire truck. There is a fire truck that is needed by the city due to the other one of our other current fire trucks being non-usable and inoperable due to a fire to the fire truck. So we're currently using one fire truck with a backup that's 30 years old as our two primary fire trucks. Typically, right now, fire trucks are a 2.5 to 3 year wait to get a new one. However, Chief Scallions has been able to procure and obtain a fire truck from Pierce that we should be able to get by August. So tonight, we just need a resolution for that emergency purchase for the fire truck from Pierce so that we can have that in our rotation as quickly as possible instead of waiting 3 years. We'll come back to you with the financing arrangements for it at another meeting. But tonight, we just need to go ahead and get that fire truck, let them know that we want to purchase it so they'll hold it for us and customize it with our needs as a city.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Payne. And just to go ahead and update you, we have done the research on that. We have a way just to finance the truck directly on a 10-year at 5.86%, which is very similar to the current bond rate. So that's a good option. That's going to be the recommendation eventually to do it that way. But we're afraid to, again, miss this opportunity because of the length of time it takes to get the other truck. So The other thing is we're hopeful that the salvage value of the prior truck, that we may be able to turn around and get an older backup, which would further protect us in, if we have a truck down. So we really need not only this new truck, but we need another one as a backup. So hopefully we can do that, from a cost neutral standpoint. That's our goal. So we'll update further on that. But
Do we have any idea what the salvage value may be?
we're still talking to the insurance company about that. The first estimate we got was not what we thought, so we're still negotiating
I seen
that.
the first
Huh?
one.
Yeah.
I seen the first one.
So we're still gonna keep keep working on that to try to get that number where we think it should be. Anyway, just want to share that information. Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
And then we need authorization to go ahead, to go to bid for the Snowden Lane widening, that will be advertised next week, or this week, I'm sorry. So we need authorization to advertise the Snowden Lane widening project, as been discussed in the past.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Gallagher. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries.
And then last item, we are switching shredding companies from who we're currently using to DeSoto Shred. So we just need to authorize Andrew Mullen, the city clerk, to sign the contract with DeSoto Shred for the shredding company used by the city.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is our utilities billing leak adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the utility bill leak adjustment docket as presented on this date.
A second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda is one claims docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the claims docket in the amount of $3,257,203.39, including domain checks.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda, we have the purpose of determining the need for executive session.
Make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Payne. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The need this evening is not potential, but economic development within the city, interdepartmental personnel with no action, and public works personnel with action. Is there a motion to declare executive session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Payne. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board will now enter executive session.